I've owned 7 vehicles in my lifetime, with the last 2 being Tesla models. And just in that short 18 months of Tesla ownership, I already know I could never go back. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 10 reasons why I could never ditch Tesla. Number 1, the Telsa Mobile App. I make car reviews for a living, and through that time, I've used most of the direct competition's applications, and none of them can touch the Tesla app. Not only do you have all your basics like opening the trunk, opening the front, headlights, unlocking the vehicle, climate control, all that kind of stuff, but you have so much additional functionality and monitoring built into the app. You can view any of your cameras around your vehicle at any time from anywhere, right from the app. You can view and download all of your Sentry clips, your Dashcam clips. You can schedule battery preconditioning. You can view your charging stats. You can get roadside assistance. You can schedule service. You can even summon your vehicle right to you, all from the mobile app. It is far and away the most feature-rich vehicle app out there, period. I've made tons of videos about it. I'll have them linked down below. Staying in that same vein, for number 2, driver profiles. Now, driver profiles inherently aren't original to Tesla. They're on plenty of other vehicles. Typically speaking, how it works on legacy vehicles is that you adjust your seating position, your mirror position, and so on and so forth. And then you get little buttons on the sides of the door panels that have 1, 2, and sometimes 3 on them. And then when you get in, you're driver number 1, you press that, it's gonna auto adjust everything for you. There's also some brands that I've checked out before, even on this channel, like Subaru, who will do like a scanning of your face and you can link it to a driver profile and then it will adjust everything for you, which is nice. That's definitely a step up from having to push the physical buttons, but Tesla takes it to a whole different level. So when you first get into your new Tesla, whether it's a fully new Tesla or just new to you, it's going to have you set up your driver profile. It'll have you set up things like seat position, steering wheel position, mirror position, and then you can log into all of your different applications. And then as you customize all of your settings through that menu, they're all gonna save and sync to that driver profile. Then if you get into the car, you tap your key card or it links to your mobile app, it will automatically adjust everything just how you like it. And then if your spouse or your friend or whoever gets into the same car and they sync their driver profile, it's gonna readjust everything to be their settings. And let me tell you, this isn't your standard like adjusting the seat back and forth a tiny bit. This gets granular. No better example of this than when I went to pick up my new Model 3 Performance. We drove my dad's Cybertruck there to pick it up and I had the climate set to 64 degrees. I got out of the Cybertruck, I got my new Model 3, went through that whole process, got in, temperature automatically was set to 64 degrees and it had the same interior ambient lighting color that I had set on the Cybertruck. It's so seamless, it's almost hard to appreciate how good it is. All right, for number 3, let's talk about performance. I did mention that I just got a Model 3 Performance, so I feel like I could talk about this a little bit now. I'm not sure you can beat the price to performance numbers that Tesla offers, gas or electric. My Model 3 Performance was right around $58,000, has 510 horsepower and goes 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. If you want something comparable to that has a combustion engine, you're looking at something like the BMW M3 Competition, which is going to be in the $80,000 range. You're talking minimum $20,000 more expensive than my Model 3 Performance was. And if you want something comparable in the EV space to that performance as far as cost goes, you're gonna be looking at something like the Hyundai Ioniq 5N or Ioniq 6N when that eventually comes out. And that's still gonna cost you on average about $9,000 more than the Model 3 Performance. But it's not all just 0 to 60 times in a straight line. There's much more to driving than that. And I can say with quite a bit of experience that the improvements that Tesla has made over the last few years on these refreshed models, they have improved all of those things significantly. Number 4, no gas stations. I cannot stress this enough. When I take my wife's car to fill it up with gas, I know, gas car still, we're working on it. The whole process just sucks. People like to give EV owners crap all the time and say, oh, well, I have to go to a gas station for only 5 minutes and you have to sit at a supercharger for 30 minutes sometimes. Yeah, and we'll talk about the supercharger network in just a minute, but I think most EV owners know that's not really what it looks like to own an EV. What it looks like if you have a home charging setup is maybe you do your driving all throughout the day, you drain your battery to 30, 35%, you come home, You plug it in, it sits overnight, you wake up, you're back at 80% or 100% or whatever you charge your vehicle to every day. You start the day with a full tank of gas. The really nice thing about Tesla's wall connector specifically, beautifully designed by the way, but it will sync to your Tesla app. It'll give you charging stats. You can go into the app and set the cost that you pay per kilowatt hour, so it's hyper specific to how much you spend on a regular basis to actually charge your vehicle at home. But for number 5, let's talk about the supercharger network. It truly is one of the biggest benefits of owning a Tesla. And even though in recent years the network has opened up to other manufacturers, it still works the best with Tesla vehicles. The whole process is just very simple when you're actually driving a Tesla vehicle. The trip planner will take you to the specific chargers with just enough charge to get there, and then it'll only have you stay at that charger for long enough to get you to the next one, and it will charge the amount right to the card on your account. It's just very, very smooth. And that's not even mentioning the most important fact about the supercharger network. It is massive, and it just continues to grow every single day. All right, for number 6, while you're sitting at those superchargers, you may want something to do. And at this current moment, Tesla has this covered better than anyone else. So you have access to the arcade where you can play all types of different games on your vehicle, whether you use the touchscreen to play them, or some of them you can connect a Bluetooth controller to play those games. Or you can access theater, which will allow you to watch Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, even TikTok right on your vehicle's display. Again, that charging window of like 20 to 40 minutes, depending on what vehicle you have, is really not that big a deal when you throw on a Netflix show that you're binging, right? You can't even make it through a whole episode sometimes and you're done. So it's really not that big a deal, but Tesla's arcade and theater make the time pass that much quicker. All right, for number 7, let's talk about looks. I'm not just talking about the exteriors either. The interiors, mwah, I love them. Again, they're not for everybody, and I get that. Some may call it boring, some may call it minimalist and clean. Personally speaking, I love the interiors. It's one of my favorite things about Teslas. I don't find them bland or boring or anything like that. I much prefer having no buttons and dials, just one steering wheel with some buttons, and one display that can do everything else. That to me is just peaceful and how it should be. But again, if you want buttons and dials, you can add all of those on. Enhance Auto makes a whole line of products to do just that, and I've covered all of them on this channel. I'll have them linked below. You can add on buttons, you can add on a dial, you can add back on turn signal stocks that are even better than the ones that Tesla makes because these can do like 60 functions. But if you're like me and you just want that plain, clean interior that just puts your mind at ease, you can do that. That's how they come stock, and I love it. But the exteriors are beautiful too. Even the Cybertruck has a really unique look. Even if it's not your taste or your style, it's still very unique. There's nothing else like it on the road. But for me personally, the Model 3 Performance is the most beautiful vehicle I've ever seen. I've even got my exact spec model right over here in miniature form. That's how much I like it. All right, for number 8, I have to give it up to Sentry mode and the built-in Dashcam. Like I said, I do car reviews for a living. The amount of times that a car will have a full suite of cameras around that vehicle and they are solely used for parking and collision detection, you could do more with the cameras than just that. And Tesla does that. Not only do they use the full suite of camera systems to work with Tesla Vision for full self-driving, for auto park, for smart summon, and all those cameras are recording all the time for your built-in dash cam. And this is way better than just your front-facing and your rear-facing dash cam. This is any angle, you've got it covered. And then when you're not driving the vehicle and it's sitting unoccupied, you're still protected because all those cameras are still recording. And it all records safely to a flash drive inside the glove box, which you can lock to prevent theft. But you can also download clips on your Telsa Mobile App, like I mentioned, and save those right to your phone if you need to, for example, share it with law enforcement. All right, for number 9, let's talk about software design and functionality. Tesla's in-vehicle software is top tier. I've mentioned a lot of the features that it has, but just the overall fluidity of the software is what really sets it apart. Most vehicles that you get into made by legacy manufacturers, you're gonna be clicking buttons and you're gonna be waiting. I would say about 90% of vehicle infotainment systems are absolute garbage. And thank God for Tesla, honestly, because that number would be pushing 100%. But the seamlessness of how everything functions together, how responsive it is, how smooth the animations are, how snappy everything is. When you tap a button, the thing pops up. There is no input lag. There's no software lag. It is boom, 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 instantaneous. And again, I make videos on all types of brands, and most of the in-vehicle software sucks. Not to mention Tesla's software is always improving. You get regular updates that add all new features, all new functionality. You may wake up one morning and your car can do 6 new things that are really impactful to your daily life that it couldn't do the night before. And you just can't say that about most brands. And then finally, for number 10, let's sum it all up. It is the value. That's what keeps me coming back to Tesla over and over again. I challenge you to name another vehicle that can compete with Tesla in the value department. You combine the looks, the performance, the range, the software, the mobile app, and the features, and you bundle all of that up with a very, very competitive price range. I just don't think you can beat the value. I really don't. And I always like to give you guys one bonus feature on these lists. So for number 11, we have to talk about full self-driving. Full self-driving is far and away one of my favorite features on my Tesla vehicle. So much so that with my old Model 3, I used it for about 95% of my drives. Whereas when I switched to the Cybertruck, I was a little bit unsure about it and didn't use it as much. But now back here on my Model 3 Performance, I use it all the time. And I believe that full self-driving is in a league on its own. And I've covered almost every version of full self-driving for the last 2 years. So if you guys are interested in any of those videos, I'll have a playlist linked down below. Some people will try to tell you that there's other self-driving systems out there that are comparable, like Blue Cruise or Super Cruise from GM or something like that. There is nothing like full self-driving. It is a hands-free, point-to-point self-driving system. It feels very confident, very safe, and I use it all the time just for little things. If I run and pick up some food and I'm on the way back, you can actually get a little snack going without having to constantly be touching the wheel or using your knee or anything like that. It's just a very smooth process, and I really enjoy using it for all of those kind of daily driving scenarios. And for long trips, it can really help with driver fatigue by, you not having to micromanage the entire drive. You just put your destination in, it's gonna take you that first supercharger, you just click the button or press the button on the screen and you're good to go. You just sit back, keep your head facing forward, and relax. It really is Tesla's game-changing feature and one of the main reasons why I could never ditch Tesla. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Let me know down in the comments what you think of my list. If you have something that you think I missed, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to talk about it down there. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.